The alien market never slept. It floated inside a broken space station, wide and loud, full of metal paths and hanging lights. Strange smells filled the air. Burned oil, old blood, cold iron. Voices came from every side. Deep, sharp, clicking, hissing. Hundreds of alien races walked, crawled, or hovered through the market. Here everything had a price. Weapons, food, machines, and lives. At the center of the market stood the slave floor. Metal chains hung from the ceiling. Energy cages glowed blue. Creatures of many kinds stood inside them, waiting. Some cried. Some stared with empty eyes. Others had already given up. She stood alone. No cage, no chain, no clothes. Her body was thin and pale, marked with old scars. Her long hair fell over her face, dirty and tangled. She tried to cover herself with her arms, but it did not help. The cold metal floor bit into her feet. She had no name here, only a number that had already been erased. A loud bell rang above the market. "Final sales," a trader shouted. "Last chance. Anything not sold is removed." Everyone knew what removed meant. An alien buyer walked past her, tall with dark skin like stone. He stopped and looked her over. His eyes were flat and cruel. "Defective," he said. "Too weak." He walked away. Another alien came closer. This one had 4 arms and a wide mouth. He grabbed her chin and forced her face up. His grip hurt. "She won't last," he said to the trader. "Not worth transport." He pushed her away. She fell to the floor. Laughter rose from the crowd. She did not cry. Crying had never helped before. She kept her eyes down and tried to breathe slowly. Each breath burned her chest. Hunger twisted inside her. She could not remember the last time she had eaten enough. Around her, slaves were sold. Cages opened. Credits changed hands. Some were pulled away screaming. Others walked in silence, already broken. She stayed where she was, unwanted. The trader responsible for her shook his head. "Waste," he muttered. "Should have thrown her out earlier." He looked at the clock display above the floor. Only minutes left. An alien child pointed at her. "Why is that one naked?" it asked. The adult pulled the child away. "Because no one wanted her." The words cut deeper than any blade. She wondered if this was how it would end. No stars, no space, just a cold door and endless dark. She had seen it happen before. Slaves pushed into airlocks, bodies floating away like trash. The bell rang again, louder this time. "Final call," the trader shouted. "Any buyers?" No one answered. The trader stepped toward her. His shadow fell over her small body. "Get up," he said. "Time's done." Her legs shook as she stood. The market felt very far away now, like a dream. Sounds became dull. Lights blurred. She thought of nothing. Then something changed. The crowd noise shifted. Voices lowered. Steps slowed. The trader frowned and looked past her. She followed his gaze. A human had entered the market. Humans were rare in this part of space. Too weak, most aliens said. Too soft. They did not like slave markets. They asked questions. They caused problems. This human was tall but not armored. He wore simple clothes and carried no visible weapons. His face was tired. His eyes moved slowly, watching everything. He walked past weapons, past cages, past shouting traders. Then he stopped, right in front of her. For a moment, no one spoke. The human looked at her the way no one else had. Not like an object, not like a thing to use or throw away. He looked at her like she was real. She felt fear rise inside her. Humans could be cruel too. She had learned that hope was dangerous. The trader laughed nervously. "You don't want that one," he said. "She's nothing. Broken. No value." The human did not answer right away. He looked at her bare feet, her shaking hands, the scars. Then he raised his eyes to the trader. "Is she alive?" the human asked. The market went silent. The market stayed silent after the human spoke. "Is she alive?" The trader blinked. He had heard many questions before. This was not one of them. "Alive?" the traitor repeated, then laughed. Yes, yes, barely. But that does not make her useful. The human nodded once, as if the answer was enough. He stepped closer to her. She felt her body freeze. Every past lesson screamed at her to stay still, to obey, to not draw attention. Humans were not common, but pain was common everywhere. The human slowly took off his outer coat. Gasps moved through the crowd. He held the coat out and gently placed it over her shoulders. It was warm, too warm. She flinched at the touch, expecting a strike that never came. Cover her, someone muttered. This is a market, not a shelter. The traitor frowned. You are wasting time, he said. She has no price, no papers, no owner tag. That means she's free, the human said. The traitor's smile disappeared. That means she is trash. The word echoed in her head. Trash. The human turned fully toward the traitor now. His voice stayed calm, but something in his eyes changed. It was quiet, steady, and hard. I will pay, he said. The crowd reacted at once. Loud voices, sharp laughs. Some aliens leaned forward to see better. Pay? The traitor said. For that. The human reached into his belt pouch and placed a small credit chip on the counter. Then another. Then another. The traitor's eyes widened. Not because the amount was large. It was not. But because it was everything the human had. Last credits, the traitor said, surprised. You won't even afford fuel. The human did not pull his hand back. Then we walk, he said. The traitor stared at him, then at her. He shook his head slowly. You humans are strange, he said. Take her. I don't want her blood on my floor. He snapped his fingers. A guard shoved a rough cloth toward her and pushed her forward. She almost fell again, but the human caught her arm. His grip was firm, not painful. She waited for the order. It did not come. Instead, the human handed her a small food pack and a water tube. Eat, he said softly. Her hands trembled. Food was often a trick. But hunger won. She ate fast, barely tasting it. Warmth spread through her chest, slow and real. The crowd began to lose interest. No drama, no profit. Just a strange human and a useless slave. Then the lights flashed red. A loud alarm screamed through the market. Security breach, a metal voice announced. Unauthorized sale. Lockdown in progress. The traitor cursed. You broke market law, he shouted at the human. No records. No transfer. I paid, the human said. That's your law. Heavy drones dropped from the ceiling. Their eyes glowed white. Weapons powered up. The crowd scattered. Move, the human said to her. She followed without thinking. They ran through narrow paths between stalls. The market shook as metal doors slammed shut. Drones searched, scanning bodies and tags. She struggled to keep up. Her legs were weak. The human slowed and lifted her into his arms without asking. She stiffened in shock. Hold on, he said. Blaster fire hit the wall behind them. They turned a corner and reached a small docking bay. One ship waited there, old, scratched, human-made. Its lights flickered. The human slammed his hand on the control panel. The door opened. They rushed inside. The ship shook as it lifted. A blast hit the hull. Warning lights flashed. Engine unstable, the ship's voice said. She grabbed the seat, fear crushing her chest. The human did not panic. He opened a floor panel and worked fast, hand steady, ignoring the alarms. Sparks flew. The engine roared back to life. The ship shot forward. Stars stretched into lines. Silence followed. She sat very still, wrapped in his coat, heart pounding. The human leaned back, breathing hard. You're safe, he said. She did not know what the word meant anymore. Outside, deep space waited. And for the first time in her life, she was not owned. But she did not know what came next. The ship drifted through deep space, quiet and dark. Inside, only soft engine sounds filled the small cabin. The metal walls were worn and scratched. Everything felt old but solid. This ship had survived many hard trips. She sat on the floor near the wall, wrapped tightly in the human's coat. The The fabric smelled strange. Clean, warm, and real. She kept waiting for someone to shout at her. No one did. The human moved around the ship, checking panels and screens. He did not look at her too much. That made her less afraid. The jump away from the station had been rough. Now the stars outside the small window looked calm. Endless. Cold. Beautiful. She had never seen space like this. Not from freedom. The ship's voice broke the silence. Hull damage detected. Minor. Fuel low. The human sighed. We'll manage. He sat on a bench across from her and took a deep breath. His hands shook for a moment, then became still. You can sit on the seat, he said. The floor's cold. She hesitated. In her life, choices had always been traps. Orders were safer. Slowly, she stood and sat on the edge of the seat. The cushion felt too soft. She did not relax. The human offered her another food pack. She accepted it carefully. He watched her eat, not with hunger or control, but with concern. Confused her. Do you understand standard trade? He asked. She nodded once. Good, he said. You don't have to talk if you don't want to. Silence returned. Minutes passed. Maybe hours. Finally, she spoke. Her voice was small and rough. Why? The human looked at her. Why what? Why me? She said. I was nothing. He leaned back and looked at the ceiling. No one is nothing. She lowered her eyes. That is not true where I come from. Then where you came from was wrong, he said simply. The ship suddenly shook. Warning lights flashed yellow. The screen lit up with a signal. Unknown distress call, the ship said. The human frowned. That's odd. He opened the message. A damaged cargo ship drifted ahead. The shields were gone. Power was low. Pirates. She recognized the signs right away. Fake distress calls were common. Slaves learned this early. Hope got people killed. Don't, she said quickly. It's a trap. The human studied the data. He saw the weapon marks, the hidden power spikes. You're right, he said. They want easy prey. Her chest tightened. She expected him to turn away. Instead, he changed course toward the signal. Her breath caught. Why are you going closer? Because they think I'm weak, he said. And that makes them careless. The pirate ship appeared on screen. Large, armed, ugly. A voice came through the channel. Power down and prepare to be boarded. The human did not answer. He rerouted power, shut off lights, and cut the main signal. The ship went dark. She gripped the seat as the pirate ship drew closer. The human whispered, Watch! He fired a short burst of signal noise. The pirate scanners glitched. At the same time, he launched a small drone, old tech, nearly invisible. The drone latched onto the pirate ship and sent false data into their systems. The pirate ship veered suddenly, confused. Target lost. A voice shouted from their side. The human turned the engines on full and slipped past them, using their own blind spot. The pirate ship fired wildly, missing by a wide margin. Moments later, space was empty again. She stared at the screen, stunned. You could have run, she said. I could have, he agreed. But you didn't, she said. He looked at her, then back at the stars. Running all the time lets bad people own the path. She did not fully understand. But something deep inside her shifted. The ship slowed. Another signal appeared. This one real. A damaged trader ship, small, unarmed, drifting. The human opened the channel. A scared voice answered. Anyone there? We lost power. He helped them stabilize their systems from a distance. No boarding, no trade. When it was done, the trader thanked him again and again. The human ended the call. She watched him in silence. People say humans are weak, she said quietly. He smiled a little. People say many things. The ship continued forward. For the first time, she wondered who she could become without chains. And she wondered why this human had chosen her. The stars did not answer, but they felt closer than before. The ship slowed as it entered a quiet system. A small yellow star burned ahead, calm and steady. Around it drifted broken rocks and old satellites. No war signs. No patrol ships. Just empty space and silence. The human leaned back in the pilot's seat and let out a long breath. "We'll stop here for a while," he said. "Safe enough." She watched the screen carefully. In her life, safe had never lasted long. The engines powered down. The sudden quiet felt strange. Too clean. Too still. The human stood and walked to a storage locker. He pulled out a folded bundle and placed it gently on the table. "Clothes," he said. "Real ones. You don't have to wear my coat forever." She stared at them. Simple clothes. Soft fabric. Clean. No tags. No marks. She touched them slowly, like they might disappear. "They're yours," he said. She went into the small washroom and changed. When she came out, she felt different. The fabric fit her body without hurting. It did not itch or cut or pull. The human looked up and smiled. "Better." She sat across from him. "I need to tell you something," he said. Her body tensed at once. "You are not owned," he continued. "Not by me. Not by anyone." She waited for the rest. There was always a rest. "It means you choose what happens next." Her heart beat faster. "Choose?" "Yes." He slid a small data pad across the table. On the screen was a star map. Several stations marked in green. "We'll reach one of these in 2 days," he said. "At any of them, you can leave. Stay. Work. Travel. It's your call." Her hands shook. Choice felt heavier than chains. She stared at the map. The dots meant nothing to her. Every place in her past had ended the same way. "What if I choose wrong?" she asked. The human shrugged lightly. "Then you choose again." The words confused her. Life did not work that way. He watched her struggle and spoke more softly. "You don't have to decide now." She nodded. Time passed. The ship drifted. She slept on a real bed for the first time in her memory. She woke up without pain or shouting. When she returned to the main room, the human was fixing a panel. "I don't know your name," he said without looking up. She swallowed. "I don't have one." He paused, then turned to her. "Everyone has a name. They just don't always get to keep it." He thought for a moment. "Until you choose one, I can call you Star." You were staring out the window like you were talking to them. She felt something warm in her chest. "Star," she repeated slowly. "If you don't like it, we change it," he said. She nodded again. Later, a new signal arrived. Her body reacted before her mind did. She backed away from the screen. "Easy," the human said. "This one is open broadcast." The message came from a council relay. Legal data. Old slave routes. Market records. Her face went pale. "They're talking about my kind," she whispered. "We were made to obey. Grown. Sold." The human read in silence. His jaw tightened. "They call it legal," she said. "They say we are tools." The room felt smaller. She waited for his reaction. Many buyers liked knowing such things. The human closed the file. "That doesn't make it right." "It doesn't change what I am," she said. He shook his head. "It explains what was done to you. That's different." She hugged her arms. "There are more like me." "I know," he said. The word hung heavy between them. She took a breath. "I don't want to run anymore." He looked at her, surprised. "I want to help them," she said. "Even if I'm afraid." The human smiled, not wide, but proud. "Then we help." A quiet alarm beeped. Long-range scanners detected activity near the old market system. Her heart jumped. "They'll find me," she said. "No," he replied, setting a new course. "We'll find them." Stars shifted on the screen. The ship turned. For the first time, she did not feel like cargo. She felt like someone standing at the start of a path. And this time, the door was open. The ship moved fast through open space. Stars stretched into thin lines as the engines pushed harder than before. The hum of power filled the walls, steady and strong. The human did not speak much now. His eyes stayed on the path ahead. She stood behind him, watching the screens. The market system appeared in the distance. Not close, not yet, but close enough to feel fear rise again in her chest. Her hands shook. "You don't have to go back," she said. They will remember you. They will hunt you. The human nodded. I know. Humans are not strong like them, she said. They have ships, guns, laws. They have rules, he replied. That's different. She did not understand, but she trusted his calm. The ship slowed and cut its main signal. It moved like a shadow now, quiet and hard to see. On the scanner, small lights appeared. Patrol ships, market guards. They are searching, she whispered. They always do, the human said. One patrol ship moved closer. Its weapons warmed up. A message came through. Unknown vessel, a sharp voice said. Identify or be fired upon. The human did not answer. Instead, he adjusted the ship's angle and drifted behind a dead asteroid, hiding the engine heat. The patrol ship passed, confused. She held her breath until it was gone. You could have turned back, she said. He shook his head. Not after I heard what they did to your people. She looked down. They made us quiet, obedient. We were easier to sell that way. That's why they're wrong, he said. They think quiet means empty. A sudden alert flashed red. Multiple ships jumped in at once. Pirates. Real ones this time. Large hulls. Heavy guns. No markings. The human cursed softly. They smelled blood. The pirate leader opened a channel. His voice was slow and mocking. Small human ship, he said. You're far from help. She froze. Memories of chains and dark rooms rushed back. Give us the cargo, the pirate said, and we'll let you float away alive. The human leaned forward. There is no cargo. The pirate laughed. Everything is cargo. The human cut the channel. She looked at him, fear in her eyes. We can't fight them. We won't, he said. Not the way they expect. He rerouted power to strange systems she did not recognize. Old human tech. Simple. Quiet. The pirates moved closer, confident. The human launched a signal burst. Not loud. Not bright. It hit the pirate ships like a whisper. Their screens filled with false targets. Dozens of human ships appeared where none existed. Ambush! The pirates shouted. They fired in every direction. The human slipped through the chaos, flying straight toward the largest pirate ship. What are you doing? She cried. Teaching, he said. At the last second, he cut engines and released a small device. It stuck to the pirate hull. A moment later, their ship lost power. Then another pirate ship went dark. The pirates panicked. They were strong, but they relied on fear. When fear failed, they fell apart. The human pulled away fast. The pirate ships drifted, blind and silent. She stared in shock. You didn't destroy them. No, he said. I took away their control. The system grew quiet again. She sat down, her legs weak. Humans are called weak, she said slowly. The human smiled without humor. That's what happens when you judge strength by size. A new message appeared. This one was not a threat. It was a broadcast. A trader ship nearby had recorded the pirate attack. They had seen the human ship protect itself and escape. They were sending the data out. Public channels. Legal channels. They will see, she whispered. Yes, the human said. And once people see, things start to change. She looked at him with new eyes. He was not loud, not cruel, not powerful in the way the market respected. But he stood his ground. The ship continued forward. Ahead waited danger. Laws, markets, systems built on suffering. Behind them, stories were spreading. And for the first time, the galaxy had seen something rare. A human who did not run. And someone once called nothing standing beside him. The ship traveled in silence after the pirate encounter. Stars passed slowly now. No alarms. No threats. Just the soft sound of engines and the quiet weight of what came next. She sat at the small table, staring at the data on the screen. Lines of text. Numbers. Records from old markets. Names of species. Routes. Prices. Her species. Her hands clenched. They planned us, she said quietly. From the start. The human stood behind her, reading the same data. Yes. They made us gentle, she continued. Our bodies, our minds. We were designed to obey, to fear pain, to freeze instead of fight. She swallowed. I thought I was weak. The human shook his head. You survived. That's not weakness. But I didn't resist, she said. I followed orders. I learned to be small. You learned to live, he replied. There's a difference. The ship's screen changed. A new message arrived, tagged urgent. She flinched, then forced herself to look. It was from the trader ship they had helped earlier. Attached were recordings. Clear ones. Slave cages. Market deals. Faces of traders. Names. Locations. They sent proof, she whispered. They want protection, the human said. And they want this to stop. Her chest felt tight. If this spreads, the markets will strike back. Yes, he said. They always do. She stood and walked to the window. The stars looked cold again. There are others like me, she said. Still there. Naked. Afraid. The human waited. I don't want to hide, she said. Her voice shook, but she did not stop. If I run, I live. If I stay quiet, I survive. That's what they taught us. She turned to face him. But if I speak, I may not. The human met her eyes. I won't decide for you. Silence filled the ship. Choice stood between them. She closed her eyes. Images flooded her mind. Chains. Laughter. The cold floor of the market. The moment she thought she would be thrown into space. Then another image rose. A coat placed gently on her shoulders. I want to help them, she said. Even if I'm scared. The human nodded. Then we plan. They worked together for hours. He showed her how signals moved through the galaxy, how public channels worked, how laws could be used against those who thought they were untouchable. She learned fast. Too fast. You've done this before, the human said. She shook her head. No, but we were trained to watch, to remember, to understand moods, power, weak points. He looked at her with quiet respect. A plan formed. Dangerous, slow, careful. They would not attack the market. They would expose it. A small alarm chimed. Incoming message. Unknown sender. The human hesitated, then opened it. A distorted image appeared. An alien with sharp eyes and metal skin. We know who you are, the voice said. And we know what you carry. Her blood ran cold. You are interfering with legal trade, the alien continued. Return what you took, and we will forget this. The human leaned forward. She is not an object. The alien's eyes narrowed. Everything has a price. The screen went dark. She hugged herself. They will come. Yes, the human said. Soon. Fear crawled up her spine. You could still leave me. Give me up. The human stood. His voice was calm, but firm. That will never happen. She looked at him, searching for doubt. There was none. The ship changed course again, not toward the market, but toward a relay hub. A place where messages became impossible to erase. What happens if this fails? She asked. He answered honestly. Then we lose. She nodded slowly. And if it works? Then they lose control. The relay station came into view. Bright, busy, watched. Her heart pounded. Once we send this, she said, there's no going back. The human placed his hand on the console. You don't have to do this alone. She stepped forward and placed her hand beside his. I was made to obey, she said. But I was never meant to stay broken. The signal began to upload. Across the galaxy, eyes would soon open, and the markets would learn something they never believed. Some things cannot be owned, and some lives, once freed, do not bend again. The relay hub lit up like a star. Signals burst outward in every direction, faster than any ship could travel. Data spread across systems into councils, guild networks, trade courts, and public channels. Images, names, records, proof. The truth was loose. On the human ship, silence followed. She stood still, hands resting on the console, breathing slowly. There was no turning back now. The market would not forgive this. They will try to erase it, she said. They can't, the human replied. Too many copies. Too many witnesses. The relay station alarms began to sound. Security ships moved in. Not attacking. Watching. A message arrived from the station authority. You are under investigation, the voice said. Remain where you are. The human did not argue. He powered down weapons and opened full visibility. Minutes passed. Then more. Finally, another message came, this one marked official. Evidence received. Multiple systems confirming. Trade licenses under review. She sank into a seat, weak with relief and fear. That doesn't mean we're safe, she whispered. No, the human said. It means they're afraid. Across the galaxy, markets reacted. Some shut down at once. Traders fled. Others tried to burn records too late. Ships were stopped at borders. Councils argued. Courts demanded answers. And slaves, thousands of them, were seen for the first time. Not as cargo, as people. On the old market station, chaos ruled. Guards abandoned posts. Buyers shouted. Cages were opened by mistake or by choice. Creatures stepped out, blinking, unsure, terrified. She watched the live feed in silence. That was my floor, she said. That spot. Where I stood. The image showed it empty now. No chains. No trader. The human watched her carefully. You did this. She shook her head. We did. A new message arrived. This one carried a human marker. A fleet was moving. Not warships. It's ships. Observers. Legal teams. Humans did not arrive with fire. They arrived with light. The relay hub released a final update. Emergency ruling issued. Genetic slave trade classified as crime. Enforcement begins immediately. Her breath caught. For a long moment, she could not speak. All her life, laws had been weapons used against her. Now, for the first time, they were shields. The human ship was cleared to leave the hub. They drifted away as security focused elsewhere. Hours later, deep in open space, the human finally rested. He sat heavily, exhaustion clear on his face. You saved lives, he said quietly. She stared at her hands. I was afraid the whole time. That means you were brave, he said. She looked at the stars outside the window. They no longer felt distant. What happens now? She asked. The human smiled softly. That's up to you. She thought about the name he had given her. Star. She thought about the others who would wake up without chains and not know who they were yet. I want to help them learn, she said. How to choose. How to live. Then you'll be busy, he said. She stood taller than she ever had before. Far away, a message echoed across channels. Spoken by traders, pirates, and slavers alike. Be careful of humans. Not because they were strong, but because they cared. The ship turned toward a new path. She was no longer naked on a cold floor. She was clothed, named, and free. And the galaxy would remember her not as something bought or sold, but as the one no one could own.